Should pro NBA players be paid as much as they are?
So my thesis statement to your question, Chris, is professional NBA players should not be paid as much as they are because they're taking valuable money away from the community of the United States.
Alright, so my thesis statement is athletes should be paid as much as they are because they generate a lot of revenue, they entertain millions of people, and supply for NBA players is very scarce.
Well, frankly, I disagree with both of you guys. I think they should be paid more because they're putting out their life on the line every single play. And a lot of the time, like LeBron James will bring $50 million to the city of Cleveland when he only makes $30.96 million a year.
Okay, so my first claim to this is that the NBA players are taking important revenue from the general public. And I did some research. So the average salary for an employed U.S. citizen is $51,272 per year, while the average NBA salary is $4.6 million per year. And then with 510 active NBA players in the league, the NBA is taking $2,346 million from U.S. citizens.
So I disagree with that. Personally, obviously professional athletes are generating a lot of revenue and profits, but I believe it's in a good way. For example, television networks and cable stations make incredible profits from televising sports events, and also owners of sports franchises make significant returns on their investments.
Do you have any research to back up your claim?
Well, I know two sportswear companies like Nike and Under Armour are earning a substantial revenue from professional NBA players and the use of their name.
I don't think that they deserve to get paid more though because they're adding like a lot more jobs. Like there's a lot more broadcasting, let's say now, because you can broadcast like tons of different games. So they should be getting paid more because I think that people are underestimating these jobs and they're opening up like a new gateway or new industry.
But why is it that they have to be taking $2.3 billion from the public? As if they cut all NBA contracts in half, everyone would view the players the exact same, and it would give the U.S. $1 billion+ to work with.
Well, professional NBA athletes obviously entertain millions of people, and athletes are just like celebrities in my opinion. They entertain millions of people around the world, and when someone affects so many people in that kind of positive way, they should be rewarded with having such an impact on many people's lives.
I think if the coach wants to pay them that much amount of money, he should not be penalized for it. Like it was the team's decision to pay them that much amount of money. It's not like they're going to the government and like taking money from them. The coach and the owner is who is providing the money and paying for them. So I think that they should be able to pay as much as the players are asking for.
And you believe that the players would be asking for more than they are making?
Well, yeah, because there's a huge thing. Like Bill Walsh has had 36 surgeries, like on his back and knee, for example. And at one point, he's thinking about killing himself due to all the concussions he's had. And now he's very addicted to drugs. So this kind of gives you this is an old basketball player, like a legend, and he playing the game for so long got his body so bent out of shape and so messed up. I think that he should ask for more money because is it really worth it? Like to only put how much was in that?
$4.6 million per year.
$4.6 million to basically want to kill yourself when you get older. You can't really put a price on that for your mental health.
But how is that specific to professional NBA players? And how is that different from if any normal person got an injury or just aging from?
Okay, well let's think about this. I'll use my mom for example. And an average middle-aged woman's job is, my mom's a tax collector. So she doesn't, yes, she has field calls and stuff, so she does get out of the building, but she does not really get that many injuries. However, every single game there's a lot of contact in basketball. Like they go up and, let's say they shoot a layup and then they get hit in the air. They could land on their head, smack on the floor, and that could give them a concussion right there. an average threat to like a normal person, like when they work, would be like, for my mom, for example, would just be a car crash, like driving somewhere, which is not very likely. However, they suffer, or they think about this every single game, that it's possible that they could get injured and careers could be ended like that.
But the thing is, if you're at like a normal job and you get into a car crash or something, you're not going to go up to your boss the next day and be like, hey, I want you to give me a lot more money because I'm injured. That I don't think that should really reflect in the NBA because, like, it's like I don't
It's
know.
hazard pay. In regular jobs, if it's a dangerous job, like my uncle Bob, he was like basically he would like unload and load like the big crates off the big ship, and basically he actually had them land on him twice. He actually gets hazard pay for it. And like he wasn't gonna retire yet, and he was only at like 3/4 of his salary, and now he gets his whole salary.
I do agree with you that that NBA players do sometimes receive harsh injuries, but I disagree that they should be getting paid more. Personally, I believe that they're getting paid a lot because supply for NBA players is very scarce, and obviously they're the most skilled basketball players in the world, and even the best non-US basketball players come to the NBA. The bar to be in the NBA is very high, and because of the athleticism and skill requirements that you need to have to be in the NBA. So, and I also think like the NBA is super popular in the US, which means demand is high, and with the demand being high, you can compare it to like the NFL almost in terms of like money.
If the demand is that high, why can't they be getting paid more? I don't. Like I understand, like you basically said that they shouldn't get paid less because there's so much athleticism and the demand is really low. Like I understand where you're coming from there. I totally agree with you.
Right.
But how does that? Well, why do you think that like limits them from getting paid more? Because they are super scarce, like you were saying.
Right. Well, I believe that the average amount of money that's being made is the right amount, and if you go higher than that, it could start to become concerning with the fact that lots of fans could get angry at the amount of money that's being paid. Like whereas like a lot of just normal jobs aren't even getting paid close to that amount of money.
So at the beginning of what you were saying, you were saying that the money for NBA players is scarce or something.
Right.
So that actually is not true. The $2,346,000,000 is actually only 51% of all NBA profits. So they still have another $2 billion to work with.
I said the supply for NBA players is very scarce, not the money.
And what exactly does supply for NBA players?
Meaning that the players themselves is like it's very scarce because there aren't a lot of like really tall,
like high end.
Yeah, really tall people that have the.
To restate the question, should pro NBA players be paid as much as they are?
So to restate my claim, I feel that they should not, and my thesis, they should not. And then one of my claims to prove that is NBA rookies on average are being paid more than President Obama was in his 8-year term as President of the United States. And my evidence for that is during President Obama's 8-year term, he made $400,000 a year, and an NBA rookie on average is making $543,471 just by being drafted and signed to a 1-year contract.
Okay, so presidents are usually wealthy before they get into office, and so they are not really motivated by money. Rather, they take the job to serve the people and for the power in the office. And if they earn too much money, as president, it would probably distract them from their responsibilities of being president.
And while you're president, you don't suffer like long-term like head injuries or anything like I said earlier. Basketball players, every time they step on the court, it's a health risk. President Obama, every time he went into the office, he was not wanting to know if he was going to slam his head into his desk, or there was no real long-term mental or physical damage from him being into office. That's why I feel like the NBA players should actually get paid more because it's such a health risk.
Okay, but how is it different? Like, for example, if I step on the court for a basketball game, I possibly could get injured too. So how is it different that it's NBA players who get injured from playing basketball?
Are you referring to you in high school?
Right.
Okay. Well, the difference is NBA basketball players, like I said earlier, 6'3" is considered really short. So everybody's like above 6'3". So it's like 6'11", 6'10", 6'6", for example. All those heights, and you've seen them, they're all pretty ripped and in really good shape because this is all they do. They weightlift and they practice and practice and practice. So they can truck more. They're more physically like bigger. So like imagine getting hit by, let's say, somebody like Vince, not a very huge person like in your game,
right.
Like somebody that you play against, like your opponent. Let's just say Vince. So imagine getting hit by him, and then imagining getting hit by LeBron James. How big he is, how tall he is, how muscular he is. Who do you think would lead to more of a long-term damage, or could potentially injure you a lot more?
But the thing is, the other NBA players are also as ripped and burly as LeBron James, so it would not be fair to put Alex, a 16-year-old, against LeBron James, one of the best NBA players in history and one of the strongest. That's not a fair comparison.
And also, not every basketball player is above 6'3". For example, Isaiah Thomas is 5'11".
He's able to take hits from LeBron James coming around without suffering injuries.
How many injuries has he had throughout his career? And how many injuries went undetected? Like, you might not necessarily receive I'll bring it to NFL. Like, you might not necessarily receive a concussion like every hit, but the repeated hits to the head and over a long lifespan will like catch up to you. It's a new disease that came out. It's not concussion. I forget the name of it, but the new disease that came out, CTE, I believe is the name of it. So, yeah, you don't really know until like a while down the line, like you're saying for his 5'10" frame, like you won't know until he's 45 and it's too late that all the hits he takes to the head really caught it to him.
But with all of these new advanced technologies in medical sciences and mental health, why is it that he wouldn't know until he's 45 if he's being tested like in the games? You know?
Because you cannot figure out if you have CTE until you're dead. Because what they do is they like open up and they analyze like your brain and like how like beat up your brain actually got. You cannot take a chunk out of somebody's brain while they're still alive. So you don't even know it until they're dead if they had it. And basically like some of the symptoms from it is like thoughts of suicide, like losing immensely. Like the center for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I forget his name, but he like went down the Hall of Fame and everything. Basically what happened to him is he would pull out his teeth and glue them back in because he was so mentally unstable. And they figured out that he had that disease after he was dead.
How does that justify NBA players making more than they already are making, which is a lot?
Because it's such a health risk. You can't really put a price on your body. It's basically what you're doing is you're saying, oh yeah, $10 million for 10 years, and when I'm 50, I won't be able to walk.
But the thing is, the NBA and the NFL are not the same thing. In the NBA, you're not trying to hit your opponent so hard that you give them a concussion. You're trying to score baskets, win a game, and stop the offense or defense.
Caden, I know you're a basketball player, so how many times per game would you get hit? Like if you're going for a layup or just somebody playing tight D on you?
Well, you're never going to get, like, trucked. That's not the point. The worst that's ever going to happen is they might hit your arm or something, gives you, like, a bruise on your arm, you know?
Well, let's say you dive for the ball and you jump and you fall, like, on, like, your shoulder, which kind of rattles your head, because all your brain is it's sitting in this fluid. And basically, all it takes is a sudden jerk for your brain to hit the side of your skull to cause swelling. That's what a concussion is. So you can get that from diving or getting, like, a layup and you just fall down. From getting hit like while in the air.
So I understand what you're saying, but the odds of that happening to you so much that you develop CTE is highly unlikely.
What about all the times when you're dribbling and like there's like a defender behind you and you're like trying to get past them to like push that, I don't know the term, but like you continually bump into him. Like You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like you're dribbling, and every time you're hitting them, your head's shifting back and forth. That could cause it.
But your head is not jerking so like hard that you're getting like a concussion. From
Yeah,
it.
I know. What I'm saying is CTE is not that you get a concussion all the time. It's saying that just the repeated hits to the head like that sudden jerk can lead to CTE if you do it over and over and over again.
Do you know how many NBA players have been affected by that?
But CTE?
Yeah.
No, I have not looked that up. Good point, though.
Do you guys have anything
I
else?
think I've said everything.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.